Hi there, I'm Blythe Thomas, the Initiative Director at 1000 Days, and I'm joined today by Charles Owubah, the CEO of Action Against Hunger. Hi Charles, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about your mission at Action Against Hunger.
As an organization, we are seeking a world without hunger. And our mission is to save lives by eliminating severe malnutrition through the prevention of undernutrition and through the detection and treatment of undernutrition. And so in our case, whenever we have a crisis situation such as what we are seeing in the Horn of Africa, we are there to save lives. But while there, we also address the root causes of hunger so that we do not go through the same situation again.
Yeah, I appreciate talking through prevention, talking through long-term sustainability. I've admired that in our community. It's critical. We at 1000 Days and Action Against Hunger, we've all been working together to end the crisis of malnutrition for a while now. Tell me, what is the state of affairs? How have things like climate change, conflict, COVID impacted malnutrition rates?
The state of affairs today is not good compared with where we were, let's say 7, 8 years ago. You see, beginning in the mid 2000s, we saw a steady decline in the number of people who were hungry. That continued till we got to about 2014, 2015, when the curve started climbing up again. And as we speak, the report that United Nations, issued, their flagship report called Food Security and Nutrition, the status, in the world today, is very emphatic about how bad things are. As we speak, about 800 million people are hungry today. What is worse is that the UN target of zero hunger in 2030, we're not going to achieve it at this pace, at this rate of doing our work. And what is worse again, that instead of reaching zero hunger by 2030, rather we are going to see an increase in the number of people going hungry. And the number is staggering. As many as 670 million people will be hungry in the year 2030 if we go at this rate. Now, there are multiple reasons why that is the case, but for sure, climate change, conflict, and COVID have truly exacerbated the situation. Let's take climate change, for example. As you and I talk, in the Horn of Africa, we've seen 4 consecutive years of drought. It's never happened before. That can only be attributed to climate change. And guess what's happening? Communities there don't have enough food to eat. There's no water. And as many as 2 million children are severely malnourished. That's climate change. COVID. Since COVID-19, we've seen 150 million more people getting hungry. 150 million more getting hungry because of COVID. And then we talk of conflict. We shouldn't even go too far, Blythe, because the war in Ukraine, look at what is happening. Disrupted all supply chains. Fuel has gone up, and so is the price of fertilizer. And so farmers are struggling in terms of planting to be able to. So it's a complex situation, and I'll tell you the situation is not good. Blythe.
So I thank you for expressing that, and I think for me, it's important to pause and acknowledge how difficult this is, and then pretty quickly after that pause to start talking about solutions. I know that's what our organizations are focused on, and I know that we have some real opportunities, that this is not a foregone conclusion. So maybe could you share with me some of the solutions that you support and that you're working toward?
We support 2 broad solutions. A, saving lives. B, addressing the root causes of hunger. So let's talk about saving lives. Today, as in East Africa, in the Horn of Africa where we're working, it's about us getting access to the ready-to-use therapeutic food. This magic groundnut paste formula, which we use to be able to treat children. So a child who is severely malnourished, close to dying, very weak, by applying this magic paste, within 6 weeks, these children are saved and can continue to live. Blythe, you may know that Action Against Hunger, more than 30 years ago, with our scientists, actually developed the F100 therapeutic milk, which formed the very basis for RUTF. So since then, we have been very much engaged in this work. So that's on the saving lives part. But we know that alone, that's not sufficient. We have to address the root causes of hunger. So while we are in these communities, we'll do a number of things. Let me share them with you. So first, we engage them in smart agriculture. We apply agroecological principles to make sure that we can increase the yield of crops for these farmers so they can feed themselves. While there, we also engage in health system strengthening because we know that if a child has access to good health care in a clinic, if he or she has malaria, he or she will survive. So we do that as well. We do water, sanitation, and hygiene programming so that the food that they eat, because they have access to clean drinking water, the food they eat can stay in their stomachs instead of getting diarrhea and then everything else leaving their system. But perhaps the last one to share with you, which we are so proud, is about engagement of women. We focus on women a lot by giving them the tools they need to do their work. Why do we have this emphasis on women? Because the research is clear that if women farmers, who, by the way, constitute about 55% of agricultural labor where we work, if women labor can actually be giving, women can be giving the tools they need, we can reduce global hunger by 150 million. Think about it. If women were given the tools they needed, all the tools they needed, we can reduce global hunger by 150 million. So those are some of the things we do to be able to address the root causes of hunger in these areas so that we don't go there to treat children.
Charles, it's so inspiring to hear you talk, and I really value and appreciate, sort of selfishly as a woman, as a mom, I have witnessed how unbelievably superhuman women are. And so I'm thrilled when we're able to talk especially about providing support so that women, and in your scenario, 150 million, that's incredible. That's just incredible. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to chat with you today was because, talking a little more about the way that you're working to save lives and talking about ready-to-use therapeutic foods. I understand that you are in a partnership and you are participating in something called LifePack. So could you tell me a little bit about how that works and maybe even how people can get involved?
Okay. So LifePack is an initiative that is aimed at unifying the video game industry towards a worthy cause of saving lives through the treatment of acute malnutrition. It's been designed such that it works on all platforms, all genre, all games, and through the process of gaming, funding is generated, and that funding is then channeled towards partners in East Africa who are working in this area of eliminating acute malnutrition. I must say that LifePack was developed by the Eleanor Crook Foundation, and the sole purpose was to rally the gaming community around this worthy cause. And the target is that through this process, we should be able to save 1 million lives. And that's what this is about. And so 100% of the funding generated, all of that goes towards the partners. And Action Against Hunger, we've been privileged enough to be the first partners. And so we've received some funding to do this work in East Africa.
Incredible. I never would have imagined, and I think it's so true of you and the Eleanor Crook Foundation and others to to be thinking so creatively about ways to engage and to give people options to support solutions to the crisis of malnutrition. Can you share just a little bit with about LifePack? How's it going? Have you received some support so far?
It's going well. I just found out, speaking with our staff, that we've received about 50,000 US
That's
dollars.
cool.
And that means that the work that we've done over the several months, we've saved about 1,000 lives. Now, I need to say this. When it comes to saving lives, saving one life is worth any price, any cost. And the fact that through LifePack we've saved 1,000 lives is significant. It is very important because these lives, whatever is embedded in them, whatever is within their chromosomes, is now going to be available to the rest of the world. So we can also benefit from it. And that's why saving one life, it's significant. And I believe that going forward, we're going to save additional lives as
That's
well.
so exciting. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I want to make sure that we continue to talk about opportunities and what solutions we're using, and to remain hopeful. So maybe just to conclude our time together, can you share with me what gives you hope?
Blythe, I'm hopeful. Despite all these challenges and difficulties in the large number, I'm hopeful. See, I'm hopeful because hunger is man-made, and so it's solution. Anything that man has created, we certainly have a way to. So unlike other areas where we have no clue of what to do, when it comes to hunger, we know what to do. It's not new. There have been places where we've done work where we've been able to eliminate hunger in those environments. That gives me hope. We know what to do. It's just a matter of political will and resources channeled appropriately for those of us in this sector to be able to deliver. So I'm very hopeful. Let me share with you my one other reason why I'm
Please.
hopeful. Initiatives such as LifePack. Whoever thought that people in the gaming community who may not know anything about global hunger can participate in this, and through the process of gaming can generate funding to be able to then address the issue of severe malnutrition in these areas. That tells me that there are others around that with good engagement and awareness, we can bring them to the table so that they can support this worthy cause, because life is precious. And that leads me to a program that we're about to do, Blythe, if I can
Please.
tell you about it. In October, we're bringing together practitioners in our field, government, researchers, innovators, and others to come together through this event called Together Against Hunger. It's at the Kennedy Center in October from 12 to 13. And we believe that if we can all come together, we can even work harder, that maybe within the 8 years up to 2030, maybe it's not 670 million people who are going hungry, but at least less than that. So I am very hopeful.
Good. Thank you so much for this time. I really enjoy partnering with you, speaking with you. I agree. I think there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful, and I look forward to continuing our work together.
Thank you, Blythe, for this opportunity to speak with you. Thank you very much.